Oh my God. What a phrase. We had an evangelist pop up a tent in my town. And it is funny. It's, those tent revival. It was Pastor Dayna. Yeah. The traveling evangelist. It was kind of cool. I didn't go to the service because it's not my paradigm. I'm not a Christian. But I decided to look her up because it was back in my mind. I was like, I made a note just to see who this person was all about. And I was watching different videos, and I have not a clue what type of paradigm she's in the Christian world, but it's kind of funny because people are making statements that she was, a false prophet. Now, maybe I'm out of tune with the Christian world, but when people who are quote-unquote prophets, it's supposed to be like you're the voice of God. But when you have people telling you you're a false prophet, then you become judgmental. Only one person can judge you, so on and so forth. The paradigm is interesting, to say the least, especially this particular clique of paradigms that coincide with one another. So, I find it amazing how Christian groups, when they don't get along, they spit back the same rhetoric back and forth with each other, such as, in the blood of Christ, I pray for you, and so on. It is just amazing. I don't know, to me it's entertaining. I mean, when churches fight, when churches go wild, Christians can't get along. It's equally, you gotta pop the popcorn and have a soda pop because, the level of self-righteousness is shooting through the fucking roof with these people. It is amazing. I enjoyed the battle of sorts. Apparently it was a cavalry church that was up against, across the street from her tent before they went to Bradenton, and in Bradenton they showed up, and to my surprise, she had a following, or a bunch of people show up to her tent, which is good, I guess. So, anyway, just figured I'd shoot that out there. I always talk about occultism and what have you, and Satanism, and our variants and dichotomies and variants of paradigms, and all this fun stuff. Try to educate one another, but when you get a glimpse of how Christians fight, it's worth the entertainment. I don't know, I enjoy it. They pray for each other. They're praying to the same God. All it is a polite fuck you to each other, and they don't know how to say fuck you to each other. Because one's trying to do the one-uppance of who's going to be the nicer person, or who's the better prophet. Maybe I'm just a total polar opposite of the spectrum. Because I watch these things and I'm like, oh, this is too humorous. And but in the same respect, is it my fight? No. It was something that came in my town, and when they showed up, they they set up like a little weekend rock concert, but they were there for a few weeks, I guess. And like I said, I always drove by their tent, and I thought it was interesting seeing this lady's face plastered on the side of a vehicle, Pastor Dayna. So it's a Christian group. Don't know what kind of Christian though. A lot of them are saying they're non-denominational these days. It's to the point where it became a denomination. So, well, who knows? It could be Pentecostal, it could be Baptist. But either way, it was entertaining watching another preacher come up to her and right in front of everybody saying, she's a false prophet. Talk about kicking the nuts. Not only that, but I'm inciting a riot too. I mean, this shit's funny. I mean, I've seen this before. I mean, if you Google or go up to, like, look up the word pastor exposed, or a particular pastor's name exposed, and you'll just see all kinds of dirt shooting up everywhere. Like I said, for me, it's sheer entertainment. I enjoy it. It's a relief from, like I said, from the occult world's bickering. But with the occult world's bickering, you know, it's no different in a way. It's just that, you know, when you're encompassed in a different world, it's your world. But when you see another world mirroring how you do things, or mirroring the conflicts how you have things, it is kind of, it is amusing, because at that point you realize how ridiculous you can look like sometimes. So I guess that's the whole point of things. But I had to share this. It was fucking awesome. So Pastor Dayna, D-A-Y-N-A. I'll put her link up underneath the YouTube video, because this is worth it. But there, like I said, it was an interesting fight. There's even backstory videos and all kinds of silly shit. And it was even a blog, the official calm blog, you know. And so, like I said, this made my day. Nothing like starting a week when you're watching Christian drama. It's okay. They have their own spats, I suppose. Just bumped into it out of curiosity. Like I said, the lady came into my town, face plastered everywhere, and yeah, it was like a back burner thing with me. I was like, let's check out this Dayna lady. And next thing I know, I see a whole world of shit. Like, wow, cool. It's entertaining because, you know, because I think the main part of the entertainment part of it all is how they handle themselves. You know, they use a book as a buffer. They use scripture as a buffer. They don't take responsibility for their own accord. Where if you were to fight a Satanist, you're dealing with the individual. You're dealing with the person. Because the ideology is their own, and you can't dispute it because it's living in front of you. Where a Christian's ideology is written in a book over 2,000 years ago. So when you're dealing with faith and versus intellect, there you have it. So I'm not saying one's better than the other. It's just how one handles themselves. I find it amazing. Because, you know, it's like a chess game of who knows the same book. And sometimes people will read a different book just so that they can get the one up and so the other for the profit status. It's amazing. Enjoyable, like I said. If you have my sense of humor, you will understand where I'm coming from with it. It's just... I do find it, entertaining, and yes, funny, because, you know, I already put one evangelist down to a mental breakdown. I would love to have interviews with people like them, any one of them, but it depends, because in an open forum, perhaps, but if you ever get invited to a church, you know, you will fall into the collective rhetoric of people praying for you, trying to cast out demons, and of course they're emotionally and faith-based, so you don't have any collective intelligence. You're going to have a collective faith. The problem with that is they're going to follow one another like a herd, and they're going to fall in their faces. Not only that, but you won't get your word out edgewise, so it's kind of like a conversation is going to go into moot ears, or a moot point with mute ears. So at that point, you know, why have such a conversation with such people? But it is interesting nonetheless. Anyways, I had to put this out because it just was so interesting. And as I said before, I never put down a religion, because religions worldwide are just fine. It's the fucking retards in religion that fuck things up. And that's the whole point of the game, I suppose. So it is, like I said, this is my entertainment. This is the dealing with the people's psyche, of the paradigms that they belong in, and how they conduct themselves and how they deal with themselves. And those who say, wait a second, what about you? I am who I am. And that's the best part. I don't lie to myself and I don't lie to other people. Anyways, this is most entertaining. I wish you enjoyed it as much as I have. I'll post up the links. Take care. Bye for now.